Good day everyone, my name is Limbaga and we are the group 5. We will discuss the great novel Noli Me Tangere and the first homecoming. Kasama ko po ang aking mga kagrupo na sila Briz, Brotero, Bermoy, Nava at Francisco. So the objectives of our topic: at the end of the chapter, the students should be able to explain the lesson learned from the great novel Noli Me Tangere with that of the present situation in the Philippines, evaluate how Noli Me Tangere contributed to the formation of Filipino national consciousness, emulate the dedication of Rizal and the worth of his ideas to contemporary Philippine society, perform the salient events in the novel Noli Me Tangere and apply the different virtues and values learned in the novel, and the last, recite the message of the literary writings of Rizal towards achieving excellence in the ideas of nationalism. So, talakayin naman po natin ang tungkol kay Rizal ng pahapyaw. So, about kay Dr. Jose Rizal o Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Realonda ay isa pong Pilipino o kilala bilang pambansang bayani ng Pilipinas. Siya po ay pinanganak noong July 19, 1861 sa Calamba, Laguna. Marami po siyang talento. Isa po siyang manunulat, nationalista, ophthalmologist at isang scholar. So, ang kanyang mga nobelang Noli Me Tangere at El Filibusterismo ay ito po yung mga naging daan para malantad po ang mga pang-aabuso ng mga Espanyol na nagpapasiglab ng mga damdamin po ng mga makakabayan sa mga Pilipino. Nag-aral po si Rizal ng medisina sa Europa, ngunit mas nakilala po siya sa kanyang mga isinulat na nananawagan para sa mapayapang reforma at pagpapahalaga po sa edukasyon. Noong 1892, pinatapon po siya sa dapitan, ngunit nagpatuloy po siya sa pagsusulong ng adhikain para sa kalayaan. Dahil po dito ay inaresto siya at pinatay noong December 30, 1896. So, ang kanyang pagkamartir ay naging inspirasyon para sa kilusang kalayaan ng Pilipinas. Sa ngayon po ay maraming monumento at kalye ang ipinangalan sa kanya, at ang kanyang mga aral ay sakripisyo ay patuloy na pinag-aaralan at ginuginita sa buong bansa. Si Rizal po ay simbolo ng kalayaan, pagkakapantay-pantay at katarungan, at syempre ay patuloy na nagbibigay inspirasyon sa mga Pilipino. Ngayon naman ay tatalakayin naman natin ang mga naging daan bago isulat ni Dr. Jose Rizal ang Noli Me Tangere. So, sabi dyan, book writing project. So, that moment, Jose Rizal's Noli Me Tangere aimed to explore and critique the socio-cultural and political aspect of life in the Philippines. During the planning phase, many of the contributors expressed a desire to focus on the characteristics and activities of the Filipino woman. So, the book, ito yung miyembro na sinalihan na kasama siya ay yung Sirkulo Hispano-Filipino. So, that moment, hindi naging interesado ang mga kasamahan niya doon sa gusto niyang sulatin. So, that moment, nag-decide po si Rizal na sumulat na lang siya ng sarili lang niya. So, hindi siya nawala ng pag-asa kasi nga po may talento siya sa pagsusulat. So, he started to write his masterpiece, the Noli Me Tangere. And after nun, he joined the Brotherhood of Masons for more mature contracts and enlightenment to complete the book. So, this membership provided him with valuable contacts and support, which were instrumental in the completion of his book. Yung Brotherhood of Masons is a type of fraternal organization. And the next is yung Madrid, sabi ni Matiz. So, he managed to finish the first half of the Noli Me Tangere in Madrid. He continued writing in Paris, where he was inspired through the immortal declaration of the right of man. So si Rizal naman po ay nakahanap po na paraan, no, para po mas ma-influence siya na makasulat at makatulong po sa articulate yung ideas niya sa justice and equality. The next naman is yung printed in Berlin. So, due to the financial constraints ni Rizal, ay humarap siya sa maraming challenges. So, he was charged 300 pesos for the printing of 2,000 copies in Berlin. So, despite the high cost, he persevered in bringing his work to fruition. Pero dahil maswerte siya, meron siyang kaibigan na si Maximo Viola, naging financial assistance niya. So, naging generously nag-offer sa kanya to cover the printing expenses. So, the Noli Me Tangere was finally published in March 1887. At naging available siya sa lahat. And the next is si Rizal po ay nag-aral sa Hebrew. So, nag-aral siya ng mga biblical studies kasi that time, no, ang nangunguna nun ay ang mga pari. Sila yung parang mas matataas. Sabi nga, diba, matataas yung posisyon sa lahat. So, to enhance his understanding of religious texts and to be better, no, na i-defend niya yung mga viewpoints on controversial religious issues raised in the book. So, si Rizal, nag-aral siya ng Hebrew at inalaw niya yung sarili niya na i-interpret yung Bible in its original language and incorporate accurate references into his work. At yun, para din maipagtanggol niya or may mai-open man na panlaban para sa ginawa niyang nobela, ay meron siyang pangbabato. And the next, yung Noli Me Tangere the first. So, the title Noli Me Tangere is a Latin phrase that translates to touch me not. So, si Rizal po ay dinerive niya yung phrase na yon from a passage in the Bible na makikita sa John 13:17. Ito yung situation na nakita ni Maria Magdalene si Jesus Christ na nabuhay, no? At sinabi sa kanya ni Jesus Christ na, touch me not, I am not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren, and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God. So, ginamit niya itong word na touch me not sa Bible at inilipat niya sa Latin ng Noli Me Tangere. So, ayun, at na-publish niya na ng 1887 sa Berlin. So, the novel is commonly referred to by its shortened name, Noli. The English translation naman na sinabi po ni Charles Devonshire was titled The Social Concert, although some other translations retain the original Latin. So, Noli Me Tangere is a groundbreaking novel by Jose Rizal that critiques the societal and political issues in the Philippines. The book's development was supported by the Brotherhood of Masons and inspired by the Declaration of Human Rights. Despite facing financial difficulties, Rizal was able to publish the book with the help of Maximo Viola. His study of Hebrew enabled him to incorporate precise Bible references, adding depth to the work. which carries the significant by biblical praise. Touch me not. So that's all from my part. The next reporter was Nava.
Summary of Nole Me Tangere. Nole Me Tangere by Jose Rizal is a story about the unfair treatment of Filipinos under the Spanish rule. Juan Crisostomo Ibarra comes back to the Philippines after 7 years in Europe at a party hosted by Capitan Tiago. Ibarra is insulted by Padre Damaso but leaves without fighting back. The next day, Ibarra basically loves Maria Clara. Lieutenant Ibarra tells Ibarra that his father was wrongly jailed and died because of Padre Damaso. Despite this, Ibarra wants to continue his father's plan to build a school to help the country through education. At the school opening, Ibarra survives an attack thanks to the warning of Elias, a mysterious friend. Later, Padre Damaso insulted Ibarra's dead father, and Ibarra almost attacks him. This leads to Ibarra's being excommunicated, and Padre Damaso convinced Capitan Tiago to stop Maria Clara from marrying Ibarra and wants her to marry Linares instead. With the help from the Capitan General, Ibarra's excommunication is cancelled, but he is wrongly accused of leading a rebellion and put in jail. Elias helps Ibarra to escape, but before leaving, Ibarra talks to Maria Clara and feels betrayed. Maria Clara explains she had to give up his letters to protect her mother's secret. Her real father is Padre Damaso. Ibarra and Elias try to escape by the boat, but they were found. Elias sacrificed himself so Ibarra can get away. Thinking Ibarra is dead, Maria Clara decides to become a nun. Elias, wounded, finds Basilio and his dead mother, Sisa. This novel is very important in making Filipinos of their national identity and need for the change. It caused a lot of controversy but inspired Filipinos to seek and reform and unity. Thank you. That's for my report. The next reporter.
Hi, good day everyone. I'm Bermoy Micaela and I am the reporter of the characters of the novel Noli Me Tangere. So, Rizal included around 30 characters, but I will discuss only major characters of the story that will represent conditions of the Philippines. So first, we have Crisostomo Ibarra, also known as his full name as Juan Crisostomo Ibarra y Magsalin, ang main and most important character sa novel. Siya ang nag-iisang anak at tagapagmana ni Don Rafael Ibarra. Siya ay nagmula sa mayamang pamilya and nagkaroon siya ng pagkakataon na makapag-aral sa Europe for 7 years. Pinalitan din niya ni Crisostomo Ibarra ang kanyang surname from Ibarramandea to Ibarra. So, sa novel na ito, ang personality ni Ibarra ay magreresulta sa mga hindi pagkakasundo ng liberal idealism sa edukasyon at konserbatismo na kinakatawan ng simbahang Katoliko. Si Juan Crisostomo Ibarra din ang kasintahan ni Maria Clara. Next, we have Elias. Si Elias ang magsasakang nakita kay Ibarra ng tunay na sitwasyon sa kanilang bayan, pero siya ay kabilang sa angkan na kaaway ng mga Ibarra. Isinakripisyo niya ang kanyang buhay ng 2 beses para mailigtas si Crisostomo. The character that Rizal plays to represent the Filipino masses who suffered from Spanish brutalities and abuse due to their powerlessness in the novel and in real Philippines social situation of that time. Sunod naman ay si Maria Clara. Si Maria Clara ay ang pinakamamahal na babae ni Ibarra. siya ay itinuturing na pinakamaganda sa buong bayan. So, when thinking of Nolimi Tangere, the name of Maria Clara can be seen predominantly as the image of the ideal Filipino woman. Also, we all know kapag naririnig ang pangalang Maria Clara, ito ay ang simbolong magiting na babae, dalagang Pilipina. Kaya naman kung nung kapanahunan nila ay ang pangalang Maria Clara ay ideal woman ng mga kalalakihan. Sa mga unang kabanata, ipinakita na si Maria Clara ay ang nag-iisang anak ni Kapitan Tiago at Doña Pia Alba, but nang naglaon, ibinunyag niya kay Ibarra na siya ay anak ni Padre Damaso. Next is Padre Damaso, also known as his full name as Damaso Verdolagas. Ang antagonist sa nobelang ito at nagre-representa ng unchristian na gawain ng mga praileng Katoliko na nasa simbahan. Siya ay kilala na isang arogante at malupit na pare. Tuwing may kumakalaban sa kanya, ginagamit niya yung posisyon niya sa simbahan para magpataw ng parusa. Siya ang tunay na ama ni Maria Clara matapos niyang halayin si Doña Pia Alba. Actually, Padre Damaso was known to be friendly with the Ibarra family until nakalaban siya ng ama ni Ibarra na si Don Rafael, and because of that, nakulong si Don Rafael at namatay habang nasa kulungan. Kaya siya ang naging mortal na kalaban ni Ibarra sa buong novel. Next, we have Sisa. Si Sisa, siya ay dating mayaman pero naghihirap dahil nakapangasawa ng isang sugarol, pabaya at malupit sa kanya. Siya ay nabaliw dahil nawala ang dalawang anak na lalaki na sina Basilio at Crispin. Isa siyang mapagmahal na ina at asawa ni Pedro. Next, we have Kapitan Tiago o Don Santiago de los Santos. So, si Don Santiago de los Santos o Kapitan Tiago ay isang kilalang Pilipinong elitista. Dahil sa kanyang mataas na posisyon sa lipunan, malapit siya sa mga Pransiskanong praile na si Padre Salvi at Padre Damaso. Wala siyang ibang gusto para sa kanyang nag-iisang anak na si Maria Clara, kundi makapag-asawa ng mayaman at may impluwensyang binata. Kaya, gano'n na lamang niya kabilis talikuran ang napagkasundoang pagpapakasal ni Maria Clara kay Ibarra matapos itong itiwalag ng simbahan. Siya ang itinuturing na ama-amahan ni Maria Clara at asawa ni Pia Alba. Next naman po ay si Pilosopong Tasio o si Tandang Tasio o Don Anastasio. Isa sa mga karakter na kumakampi kay Ibarra, and he portrays the role of philosopher who has completely misunderstood in many aspects. He also argues with the belief of the Catholic Church and the social changes and concerns in the novel. So, kilala siya sa kanyang kakaibang pananaw sa mundo, and siya ang sumisimbolo sa mga tao na walang pakialam sa iniisip ng iba. Sa kasamang pala, dahil sa mas gusto niyang mapag-isa, namatay siyang walang kasama. And next is Doña Victorina de los Reyes de Espadaña. So, si Doña Victorina ay isang Pilipinang babae na nakapangasawa ng isang Espanyol na nangangalang Don Tiburcio. So, walang ibang bagay na pinapahalagahan si Doña Victorina kundi ang pag-ingatan ang kanyang imahe bilang isang elitista. So, next in the character is Pedro. So, si Pedro, siya ay irresponsableng asawa ni Sisa, and siya yung mahilig sa sugal at lasinggero. So, next we have Don Rafael Ibarra. Siya ang ama ni Ibarra sa nobela, and siya ay pinlat as concerned citizen at property owner. Next, we have the schoolmaster. So, a teacher who supports Don Rafael, helping him find a house and enabling him to properly do his job. The schoolmaster tells Ibarra about the unfortunate circumstances in San Diego surrounding education, which greatly inhibit the town's students. So, kinuwento ng schoolmaster kay Ibarra ang experience niya sa pag-try mag-conduct ng class habang si Padre Damaso ay praile ng bayan. Sa panahong yun, pinagbawalan siya ni Damaso na magturo ng wikang Kastila kahit na ang pamahalaan is sumulat ng isang kautusan na ang lahat ng mga mag-aaral ay dapat matuto ng wikang Kastila. And with this schoolmaster, Ibarra first revealed his plan to build a new school na hiwalay sa mga praile. Next, we have naman po Tandang Pablo. Tandang Pablo is, si Tandang Pablo po ay pinuno ng mga tulisan at itinuturing na ama ni Elias. Si Tandang Pablo ay magsasaka at tagapag-alaga ng mga kalabaw ni Kapitan Tiago. Siya ay kilala sa kanyang pagiging tapat at masipag sa kanyang trabaho. Si Tandang Pablo ay isang karakter na nagbibigay ng kulay at katotohanan sa buhay sa bayan ng San Diego. Next, we have Basilio, older brother of Crispin. And we have Crispin. So, Crispin, Basilio's younger brother. And sila yung anak ni Sisa. So, the two working together as sacristan sa San Diego Church. Following the incident, nawala si Crispin at of course, namatay matapos siyang pagbintangan na nagnakaw. Si Basilio ay nabalot ng kalungkutan at pagkakasala sa pag-iwan kay Crispin para iligtas ang kanyang sarili. And throughout Basilio's life, na-motivated siya kay Crispin na i-take ang kanyang pangarap bilang isang doktor. So, Crispin's disappearance was therefore the driving force that inspired Basilio to study as a way of keeping his brother's memory alive. Next, we have Padre Salvi. Padre Salvi was the town curate of San Diego and the successor of Padre Damaso. Possessing a rivalry with the town's Alvarez, he later orchestrated the downfall of Crisostomo Ibarra, manipulating the town's people in the process. That's all po for my part. Next reporter po. Thank you.
Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Ako si James Matthew Sibutero at ating tatalakayin ang The First Homecoming. Ang unang pagbabalik ni Dr. Jose Rizal sa Pilipinas ay naganap noong 1887. Matapos tapusin ang kanyang pag-aaral sa medisina sa Europa at ilathala ang kanyang nobelang Noli Me Tangere na naglantad sa mga pang-aabuso ng pamahalang kolonyal ng Espanya, nagpasya si Rizal na bumalik sa Pilipinas upang magambag sa kilusang reforma. Dumating si Rizal sa Maynila noong Agosto 5, 1887 matapos ang mahabang pananatili sa Europa kung saan siya nag-aaral at nakakuha ng malawak na kaalaman sa mga literal at progresibong ideya. Ang pangunahing layunin niya ay itaguyod ang reforma sa Pilipinas sa pamagitan ng edukasyon at civic action. Nilalayon niyang magbigay kaalaman tungkol sa pangailangan ng pampolitika at panlipunang pagbabago. Pagbalik niya, hinarap ni Rizal ang malaking pagtutol mula sa mga otoridad ng Espanya at ng Simbahang Katoliko na itinuturing ang kanyang mga isinulat at ideya bilang mapanira. Ang Noli Me Tangere ay nagdulot ng kontrobersya at maraming opisyal ang nakakita sa kanya bilang isang banta. Sa kanyang pananatili, nagpatuloy si Rizal sa iba't ibang gawain kabilang ang pagpapractice ng medisina, pagtuturo at pagsusulat. Naglakbay din siya sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa upang taguyod ang kanyang mga ideya at makakuha ng suporta para sa mga reforma. Dahil sa tumitinding pressure at mga banta sa kanyang kaligtasan, muling umalis si Rizal sa Pilipinas noong Pebrero 1888. Ang kanyang unang pagbabalik, bagaman maikli, ay mahalaga sa pagpapalakas ng kilusang reforma at pag-uudyok sa ibang mga Pilipino na sumama sa adhikain para sa kalayaan at pagbabago. Ang unang pagbabalik ni Rizal ay nagmarka ng isang mahalagang yugto sa kanyang buhay at sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas na nagpakita ng kanyang dedikasyon sa pagpapalaya at pag-unlad ng kanyang bansa. Ayun lamang po at maraming salamat.
Attacks of Noli Me Tangere. Unang pag-atake sa Noli sa Pilipinas ay nagmula sa isang hindi nakikilalang Shanghai Praile. Binansagan si Rizal bilang isang taong walang utang na loob. Rizal responded to Father Rodriguez's attacks to the satirical pamphlet entitled La Visión del Fray Rodriguez. Write an essay entitled Por Telefono. Salvador for printed copies of the commission report, and Father Jose Rodriguez printed 8 pamphlets under general heading Question of Supreme Interest. Many Filipinos ang napilitang bumili, ngunit hindi sila naniwala sa mga polyetong ito ng anti-Rizal. Inatake rin ang Noli Me Tangere sa Senado ng mga Espanyol Cortes. Malakas din itong inatake ng Espanyol na akademikong si Vicente Barrantes, na dating opisyal ng Pilipinas.
A pleasant day to everyone. Let's proceed now for our last topic. But first, I am Raylene Brace. Today, we recognize the individuals who ostentatiously defended and upheld the significance of one of the most important literary works in the Philippine history, which is Noli Me Tangere by Dr. Jose Rizal. So this masterpiece plays an important role as society nation today. Why? Because exposed the social ills and injustice of Spanish colonial rule na naging way ng mga Pilipino to have a sense of nationalism and inspired countless Filipinos to strive for change. So, reminding us that the enduring fight for the freedom, quality, and justice. So that's one of the defenders of Noli Me Tangere. These are defenders of Noli Me Tangere that played a crucial role in preserving the legacy of this powerful work. So the first one is Marcelo H. del Pilar. Next one is the Graciano Lopez Haina, Dr. Antonio Regidor, Mariano Ponce, Ferdinand Blumentritt, Sigismundo Moret, and Father Francisco Sanchez, and last but not the least, Father Vicente Garcia. And the first defender is Graciano Lopez Haina. He is a lecturer, teacher, and a principal in the secondary school, one of the closest friends of Jose Rizal, and consider him as a soulmate. Together with Rizal and Del Pilar, he founded the La Solidaridad. So moving on, we have here the Marcelo H. del Pilar, better known by his pen name Plaridel, a Filipino commander of the Philippine Revolutionary Army and an editor of La Solidaridad. And the next slide is Ferdinand Blumentritt. He is well known for the friendship of Jose Rizal. Fun fact, Ferdinand Blumentritt, the numerous articles between the two provide a vital reference for Rizal historians and scholars, including his last letter from prison before the execution. And the other one is Mariano Ponce, a Filipino physician writer and have active member of the propaganda movement, and he was also the one of the founders of La Solidaridad and Asociación Hispano-Filipino. The next one is Dr. Regidor, one of the supporter of propaganda movement. Furthermore, we have Don Sigismundo Moret, a former president of the Council of the Minister of the Court, one of the defenders of Noli Me Tangere. And we have two priests. First one is Father Francisco de Paula Sanchez, Rizal's favorite teacher in Ateneo, defended and praised the novel in public. And he publicized a pamphlet entitled Caligar K. Caligar Cage. It means be Aligperi as an Father Francisco Sanchez Rizal. So the beloved Jesuit professor, he read with Rizal and liked the book very much. And last but not the least is Reverencia Vicente Garcia, a Filipino Catholic priest, writing under the pen name Justo Desiderio Magalang, a scholar at theologian of the Manila Cathedral, hero and a defender of Jose Rizal. He wrote a defense of the Noli which was publicized in Singapore as an appendix to a pamphlet dated on July 18, 1888. He blasted the attacks and arguments for Rodriguez. Just like Rizal, cannot be an ignorant doesn't attack the church in Spain, because what Rizal attacked in the Noli Me Tangere is the bad Spanish officials. And not Spain, Rizal cried with overwhelming gratitude to Father Garcia's brilliant defense of his Noli Me Tangere. And these are the great defenders who bravely came out to prove the merits of the novel, who have staunchly defended and enlightened the unkind of attackers, one of the most important literary works in Philippine history, which is Noli Me Tangere. And that's all for my report. Thank you for listening and have a good day, Sir Roman.